welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, today we are stepping out of the light and straight into the shadows. We've got a wild story about a totally accidental discovery that, literally rewrote ancient human history. Just imagine, for a second, walking into this vast, dead silent space that's been locked away for thousands of years. And there are no maps. Think about the absolute suspense of that, right? The explorers descending into this pitch-black darkness had zero preparation. They were walking blindly into the earth with absolutely no clue what was waiting for them down there. And absolutely no warning. Literally, with just a single step into the unknown, human history was about to change forever. What they ended up finding down there completely shocked scientists and unlocked these incredible secrets that had been buried for millennia. Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, Into the Unknown, the 1940 discovery. So, set the scene. For centuries, you had local villagers whispering these strange, kind of creepy stories about the area around Montignac, France. Legends warning of curses and weird underground sounds, which naturally kept most people far away from the woods. But cut to 1940. 4 teenage boys are out exploring those exact hills. Now, they were actually hunting for a rumored secret tunnel, but instead, as they're wandering through the forest, they stumble upon this strange hole in the ground. And driven by nothing but pure, unfiltered teenage curiosity, they totally ignored all those old spooky legends and just climbed right inside. Which brings us to Section 2, a masterpiece in darkness, illuminating the past. So imagine the sheer thrill here. These 4 boys drop into a vast underground chamber, click on their flashlights, and the beams hit the walls. What they see is just impossible in scale. We're talking enormous horses, majestic bulls, graceful deer, just blanketing the stone. And these creatures, they were frozen in time, yet they looked astonishingly alive. The colors were still incredibly vivid. The details were so mind-blowing that it honestly looked like the artists had just packed up their brushes and left maybe a few days prior. But as we know, they definitely hadn't. 17,000. Yeah. When the experts finally got down there, that was the jaw-dropping number they hit us with. These masterpieces were 17,000 years old. Just let the sheer scale of that number sink in for a second. That is a massive span of time. These stunning pieces were painted long, long before cities, way before written language, and honestly, before pretty much anything we'd call modern civilization even existed. And this brilliantly illustrates our next section, Rewriting Human History, the Paradigm Shift. So, Lascaux forced this massive, immediate historical pivot. Up until this point, the old, long-held assumption was that early humans were, primitive, intellectually limited, basically just trying to survive. But the new, shocking reality, it revealed deep, complex intelligence and a level of artistic talent far beyond what anyone ever thought possible. It just completely shattered all the old expectations overnight. Because the proof was literally right there in the paint. The artists of Lascaux, they had completely mastered movement and perspective. They showed a deeply fundamental understanding of anatomy. They were out there successfully mixing natural pigments, and they even carefully selected the natural curves of the stone to create these 3D visual effects. So yeah, these were absolutely not just random doodles in the dark. They were calculated, brilliant masterpieces that proved early humans were highly skilled master artists. But of course, that leads us directly to Section 4, the unsolved ancient mysteries, questions in the dark. So the crucial point is this. As historians dug deeper, literally and figuratively, this profound question popped up. Why would artists travel deep into such dangerous darkness just to paint animals? Some of these chambers were incredibly difficult to reach. Think about the insane physical danger these ancient people braved, crawling on their bellies through tight, suffocating little spaces with nothing but flickering firelight just to get to these isolated spots. Why go through all that trouble? And on top of that, what do the images actually mean? Are we looking at spiritual symbols, secret messages left for other tribes, or maybe the backdrop for some kind of intense ancient ritual? Honestly, even today, researchers are completely divided on this. Nobody knows for sure. It seems like the deeper we study the cave, the more questions just keep bubbling up, leaving Lascaux as one of history's most fascinating unsolved puzzles. Let's move to and see how this builds our 5th section, Saving an Irreplaceable Canvas, the Modern Threat. So, right after the discovery, a brand new, entirely modern problem quickly reared its head. In a tragic bit of irony, what nature had perfectly preserved for 17,000 years, human curiosity almost destroyed in just a handful of years. Thousands of eager tourists just flooded into the cave, and the sheer volume of human breath and body heat rapidly, and I mean rapidly, altered that delicate underground ecosystem. Suddenly, tiny organisms started aggressively blooming right over the priceless artwork. The paintings were actively decaying. So, to stop this rapid chain reaction of degradation, authorities had to make a really tough call. They permanently closed the original cave to the public. Preservation suddenly had to become the absolute highest priority to protect this irreplaceable canvas for future generations. Today, the original cave sits sealed away in the dark once again. But it leaves us with a pretty incredible truth. Sometimes the greatest discoveries are not found by those actively searching for history. They're found by those brave enough to follow curiosity into the unknown. It's just wild to reflect on how that one innocent, spontaneous decision by 4 teenagers fundamentally transformed our understanding of who we are and exactly where we came from. So I want to leave you with this thought today. Hidden somewhere in the darkness of our world right now, where is the next secret cave waiting? Keep following that curiosity, because you truly never know what mind-blowing mysteries are still buried right beneath